Oops. So I turned it all off by accident. But you can still see me. Okay. I want to figure out how to make this a bit better so you can see it a bit better. I think that should be fine. Okay. So this top one is just my rice. It's just going as you want. Okay, so here, boom. Alright, so olive oil right there. Cover up that bottom right there. Boom. Okay, notice I have 93% with 7% fat. That fat is actually going to come off and render out and be another part to our like oil, pretty much. What I like to do with a lot of that fat is like kind of take it out. I don't like it too crazy. Too crazy with that grease and stuff. So I like to take it out. Okay, what you're not seeing off camera is me opening up the meat. So my pan is smoking. That oil cooled it off a little bit, but it's still smoking, right? So, and olive oil has a kind of low smoke point. So it's gonna be a bit crazy. I lifted it off to get the heat off a bit, right? Now I'm throwing in my meat. Well, my dad taught me how to cook this. Take a little pan right here and kind of section these into patties. Couple sections, right? Leave it to fry. So bring some of that oil on the pan and fry. And fry the sides up on high heat. You just fry the sides up on high heat, and then don't worry about that. Because I'm working with a bigger portion, I kind of don't like throwing the aromatics there because I don't want it to burn, right? But you know what? Sometimes they're nice thing. That's that. I'm not going to throw my... Okay, so let me tell you the ingredients I actually have today. So I have my black bean garlic sauce, which is essential for not the person. The black bean sauce. A lot of people like using the spicy sauce. I like using it too, but sometimes I just substitute it for like sriracha or something like that. And you see how it's smoking up a lot? That means you gotta turn from this. But this pan is terrible because it keeps it only gets the middle is elevated basically. So the middle kind of sears this, and all the oil can go to the side. Which means that my rice should be done. So I'm cooking it. It's good. You turn that rice off. You fluff it up. There's also a trick if it's good. You fluff it up. You don't see any liquid on the bottom. No more water on the bottom. That means the rice soaked up all that goodness right there. You fluff it up. Try not to lose a bunch this side and shit. So I like to put it over like near my sink area where it won't burn it kind of. So that's pretty much done. And then I close it up with the same heat. Okay, now we're just working with my rice. Alright, sorry. A mapo tofu. This is part of it. So really what this does when you sear these sides is it adds more of like a seared meat taste to your food. Pretty much. That's the only purpose. Otherwise you can break everything up and cook it normally. So sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of that fried flavor to it. Which is how I learned to cook it growing up. You see how they're pretty big? The inside, oh sorry, you can't even see. They're pretty big pieces. So the inside's actually not going to be cooked. That's why we're all going to be breaking it up there. So right now, let's just go ahead and sit like this. Let me sit and stew and simmer. Get all that goodness into it. Yeah. You see right here, because all the oil's on the side, I'm just letting these sides get some of the oil and bring it back to the middle where the hot point is. So I can really fry right there instead of just doing that. You know. Alright. This side. Get as many sides as possible. Get as much meat as possible with that crispiness. And I'm working with beef right here, so beef is actually pretty easy to tell when it's cooked. Especially with the ground beef, will do the color change. I don't like to have a bunch of big pieces so I can kind of see when my beef is cooking, you know? So then I can see all that color change right there. Yeah. Alright. Now the couple times we go and crush it up. Crush all that up. It was like really soft right there, but now we're getting full cooking. Okay. And you know what that also does? It prevents all that fat. I got a pretty lean ground beef, which is pretty good. I don't like having super fatty ground beef because then you have to take out all that fat. And it's just the headache. If you get super lean ground beef, you don't get as much of the fat because the fat can go to the bottom and it makes the meat boil instead of stewing or frying. I want a nice fried meat. I don't want to boil meat. Boiled meat, bland, it's just sucks. Fried meat is fat. Okay, so at this stage, this is when I kind of like to add in my aromatics and stuff. So aromatic seasoning. Okay. So what I'll do is make sure that this is nice and chopped up a bit. That. Okay, I want to pound on it. I'll throw some of my garlic salt, some of my pepper. Again, be sparing any garlic salt. You don't think it's too much, but then when it's too much, it's too much. Pepper's on the other side. You can go crazy on that. Oh, for me at least. I don't know how that would act. I'm not throwing in the soy sauce right now, just because I feel like the soy sauce, sorry, listen on my cooking. I feel like the soy sauce doesn't, it burns out. You know what I mean? I feel like it burns a lot. It burns out a lot. I don't like that. Alright, so let's do this in. And then the big boys. Black pea. Oh, sorry. Black pea garlic sauce. There's actually a ton of garlic. I didn't even realize this was garlic sauce. So I should have used that before, but it's whatever. This is powerful, so you gotta be sparing when you use it, okay? Alright. Make sure you flip it and make sure every side is cooked. You're gonna see that. You're gonna see that red and you're gonna say, ooh, I need to cook that shit more. Right. Bring the most red parts to the middle. So remember, that's where the heat is. That's what's gonna cook. There's more cooked parts, cook the side. Yeah? Just cooking that pan right there. And remember, you can always taste your creation. Whenever you feel like, oh, did I add enough seasoning on this? Did I add enough seasoning? Just taste it. It'll be fine. Ain't nobody been done. But you should kind of hold off until it's kind of mostly cooked, and then that's when you taste it. Okay. Another big thing about mapo tofu is you're going to need to kind of over-season it before you add in the water, because we're going to be making a little sauce. Another thing as well is you're gonna want to also add in this thing. It's I forget what it's called, but it's basically I'm gonna use a flour water mixture. And what that does is it thickens up your sauce a little bit, but you don't want too much. Let me get my water ready. So let me make sure my water cooks up. Let it heat quickly. You can always change how much you add in. Just make sure. Perfect. And that's just cooking up beautifully right here. Even getting a little bit saucy right there. So you see, once most of your meat is kind of cooked, that's when you're gonna add in your veggies. Another thing about the frozen veggies, which is pretty cool, is it'll add in some water to you. Just inherently, you know. That way you don't have to put too much water in because it's really good. That's kind of good. Good part, right? But this means that when you add it right here, the rest of your meat's gonna cook while your veggies start to cook. And you want those veggies nice and cooked perfectly because they're gonna be yummy. That's why they're just gonna be yummy. Oh shit! That's the first fallacy I did. Okay. That should be good. I'll toss that right quick. What accent, I swear. Okay. Let's do something hot right here. A little bit there. This is what fast is good. Now it's looking nice and colorful. Let's got your meat, let's got your veggies. I feel like those veggies cook up a bit. Yeah. It's good. Now I just want to add some more soy sauce. It's coming at the top too. I'll be dipping it around so much. Actually, I'm trying to think of the name of that flour combination I'm talking about. It's not anjou, it's something else. Maybe it just wasn't important enough. Yeah. You ever see any of that pink right there? Cross into the middle. Hardest part of your pan. Cross into the middle. That's where I like to cut up my meat so I can really see that. Look how much it is. Okay. I'm not putting in so much flour that it will overwhelm my food. I might need to add in some more seasoning. I need to taste it because I haven't tasted it yet. So I might need to add more in. Not ready yet. Sorry to make too much of this little concoction. So I'm not going to put in a total amount, but I'll put in what I feel like I need. Yeah. This is beautiful. I want these zucchinis more cooked up. So they are going to move towards the middle. I could have taken out the meat and fried them themselves too, which might have been better. But we're already here, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. So what you gonna do? Right? We're gonna do what we're gonna do and what you gonna do. I do kind of want to taste a little bit hard. Tasty. Got a nice flavor to it. Put me a little bit more of this. That's for sure. Put me more of this. I wanted to hold off on this sriracha, but I feel like it just needs it because it's missing the 5 spice. It's missing the Sichuan peppers. You're gonna need what you get. I tend to under-season things initially because I hate to over-season things. You know. You never know until you know. This video is not being too long. I hope I'm actually recording too, because that's oh yeah. Okay, I need to make that fan on out because that spice can so I don't know how well this is, but alright. So the way I'm checking my zucchini, I'm kind of pressing down into it, so it starts off firm. But when you cook it, it'll become softer. I'm trying to feel that texture that I like. That's how personally I like my zucchini. Yeah. I'm finding right now. Okay. Now, put the sauce in tofu like this. You know, it's kind of good to crush up your tofu into your water tofu. So, this, a little bit of this, it's going to thicken up the sauce that I'm making in the water. Not adding too much because that's crazy. And that was just flour and then flour water directly. It's really gonna thicken up the sauce because it's not like it's not gonna be like a little it's gonna be like a sauce. And that's why I added a little extra seasoning because just the tofu is gonna soak up some of the food that is in the seasoning, and also that water and flour mixture. So you see that here, I'm actually not just like stirring really moving by taking the tofu, flipping it like the bottom stuff. Okay, so let's do it a bit more. Yeah. Some people say they don't like tofu, they don't like the texture. I'm like, how do you do that? It's literally just tofu. It's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's some good missing ingredient mapo tofu. I wish I had 5 spice right now. That would taste amazing. But you can taste it. So the flour water combo made it into more like a glaze instead of just how it was kind of a liquid on the fat. Like the oil and the fat was just a liquid on the bottom. That made it into a glaze and it's sticking to all the ingredients that you put in. And that's exactly what I like. Basically the tofu, I like to just cook it until it's like kind of hot. I don't don't think it needs too much sugar. It's not a crazy ingredient to hang up. But I like the natural taste. Delicious. Ooh. That's really spicy. Exactly how I like it. Okay. So I'm gonna cut this meat now. Give me a couple more flips. So I don't want to break up my turkey too much. Like that. And cut the sheet. Try to move it to the cool side. Now I have a railway. I don't know how much of that you can see. I'll show you that much probably right there. Just so you can see this. So this is green to 8. It's right there. Some tofu. Missing some of the classic Asian ingredients like Shaoxing wine and spice, but that's how we did it. So yeah.